Hello. So in this video, we'll actually go over the instructions specific to navigation, and it'll talk about where you'll find the information. So I'm gonna get into the student preview mode. That way, what I'll show you here would be exactly how it looks on your side. So this is the course banner, and as you have learned already from my email that you would be referred to as cognitive Sherlocks, and this is the cognitive psychology class. The first thing you will notice is the Start Here tab module. And when you click on it, you can find additional information like introduction, syllabus, and calendar. When you click on that, there will be introduction video. And this introduction video is where you'll start. I'll introduce myself in this video. And right under this video, you'll see a navigation specific instructional video right under this, which is the video I am recording right now. So that's where you'll find most of the information necessary for you to understand the basics of this course. Then you have specific information related to my office hours, and then within the course syllabus and calendar tab, you also have the syllabus information, and most of the documents in this particular class, you'll see them as either viewable within the web page, or you can also download them by clicking on the download original file or download alternative formats. So that is that. Then you can come back, and that would be the Start Here tab. Now what you'll see next are the actual week specific content modules. So each week we'll have roughly two units. So for instance, week one has 3 units. Unit 0 is like a big picture unit. It doesn't relate to any of the chapters, but it actually talks about the basics of what we'll learn in this class. It also provides you with the context of the class, so I strongly suggest that. Now, within each module, what you can see is the first thing that you'll notice are 3 kinds of information you'll find. The first one is the overview table, which has information about the learning objectives for all the units in that week, followed by your task for that week. Usually the tasks include information about what book chapters you need to read for that week, what video lectures you're supposed to read for that week. And there is another section called knowledge check, which is basically basic Kahoot questions I have developed. It's optional, it's not graded. You can take it as many times as you want. This is to check your own understanding of what you've retained from that particular unit at a very basic level. Doing well on Kahoot doesn't mean that you can do well on the quizzes. These are like a basic level questions. Then each unit, most except the fourth one, each one has its own voice thread discussion unit where you will record your initial response to the post, the prompt question, then re-response. I'll talk about this in a separate place, and I'll refer to that. So hang on to that, and wherever you see the assignment section, there you'll see another video that walks you through the process of recording and submitting your voice thread assignments. Okay, then each unit will have 1 or 2 quizzes. This unit has 0, 1 is quiz 1. Basically, it covers unit 0 and 1, and 2 is unit 2. Usually, the quiz numbers are associated with the units. Now, these are the due dates for it, and these are the specific learning objectives for each of the tasks you're required to do. So I'm gonna exit this thing. So the first thing was the content, right? I mean, overview is the first thing that will give you broader perspective of what to find within each week, followed by 3 kinds of information: content, knowledge check, and assignments. Content is specific to video lectures, right? And knowledge check is specific to Kahoots, and assignment is a place where you'll see information about the quizzes and also the VT assignments. These are the 2 main types of assignments for a weekly basis assignments. Also, you'll have the final paper towards the end. I'll show you where you'll find that. Now, when you click on the content section, the content is basically full of video lectures. So if there is one unit, you'll see one tab that would say video lecture for that unit. So because there are 3 units in this week, you have 3 different tabs. When you click on that tab, it'll take you to the big picture, that unit's video lecture. There could be 1, 2, 3. The big picture itself has just one video. So, and each video, for the most part, has some explanation. So it will give you some idea of what this is within the context of the class. So make sure you read this and try to understand. And either under the video lecture right here, or within this particular description, you'll see some documents being attached. Okay, if a document starts with H, that means that's a handout. Like for instance, this particular thing is a handout, and this is like a framework, and you'll see this once you watch the video. And then there will be other documents for each video lecture. These are slides. If the document starts with a U number, meaning unit number, that's a presentation slide in a PDF format. If it starts with H, then it's a handouts specific to that unit. So that's the logic, and you can do the same for other units. And unit 1 will have, again, one video, and it will talk about the basics of this within the context of the class and the course and the objectives. So make sure you read this carefully. Then comes unit 2, and here you have 2 specific videos, and again this gives a very general understanding. So reading these things before watching the videos will kind of give you a bigger context of where this fits within the context of the class. Okay, and again, as I said, each video will be followed by slides, lecture slides, and if there are any handouts, that would be added as well. Then the Kahoots, right? And because we have 3 units, we have 3 Kahoots. And Kahoot, there are multiple ways to access this. One way you can do is just click on this, and there you go. You can actually nickname as a Sherlock, let's say, okay? And you can start answering questions, right? And it's not graded. It is just for you to answer some questions and get used to it. One way to do is just play it right away. Multiple choice questions. Hold on. Okay. So I'm guessing I can just close this for now. Okay, that's one way of accessing the Kahoot. The other way of accessing the Kahoot is by using the QR code, and that will open up the Kahoot page. Okay, and I also, for each Kahoot, give like Kahoot examples as to how to navigate through the options, just in case if you're not familiar with this. Okay, also another way you can do it is actually you can download the app, and each time there is a Kahoot, you can scan this and it will open in your Kahoot app. You can work through it, and sometimes it will ask for PIN, especially if you're using a device like Apple, Android, or other phone. In that case, it may ask for a PIN, and this is where you'll find it. Now, the Kahoots are you can take it as many times as possible. This is for you to just regularly check your understanding while you are learning content from that unit. So this is open for like 2 weeks, I guess. Then I have to reopen it eventually, all the Kahoots, because the final exam will be comprehensive. It will cover all the units. So that's that. And similar is the case with the other Kahoots. Okay, so now what did we do so far? We looked at the overview tab specific to a week. Then we talked about what to find in the content for that week. Then we also talked about the Kahoot's knowledge checks. The last thing that's very important in terms of the assessment are these assignments. So VT assignment 1 is the assignment, and each VT assignment will have this is how you'll access it. Again, I'll try to post another video here, but what happens is when it will tell you when the due date is, it's Sunday is the due date. When you click on it, you'll actually have to click on the launch button. When you go there, you still have to use the launch button because this is in a voice thread format. So once you enter there, these are the instructions. Okay, and I'll try to put this information also in the beginning so you can see this one. So this is what you're supposed to do. By Friday, you have to record one response called the initial response. So the way you do it is click on the start button, and this would be this is my voice, which is trying to explain the prompt. After you've learned the content from the unit, you need to answer a prompt question on your own, in your own words, without looking at your classmates' responses. So the question here is language unique to whom? Humans. Why or why not? What you'll do now is you will record your response. The way you can record your response to this is by clicking on this plus button. Do you see that? Then you either choose the audio or video option. When you click on it, then what you'll do is you'll actually record. Okay, this is my response to this question, blah, 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 blah. You can use the option of even trying to use the information that's on the slide, things of that sort. Once you're done with it, you click on the stop button. Okay, and okay, this is my response. You can save it. Now that's how you'll see it. Now, if you see, once you've recorded the response, this is the first response. It's called the initial response. It is the response to the question. Okay, and you see it's hidden always. I have to make it unhidden, but I won't do it till it's past due. When is it due? For the most part, it is due the Friday end of the day, except for the last one, where I will give you additional information and remind you at that time. But for all the other VT assignments, there are initial responses and re-responses. An initial response is a response to the prompt question like this one, which you do by clicking on the plus sign, right? A re-response, which is due Friday end of the night, right? For end of the day, so midnight. Now you won't see anybody else's response, just like because it's hidden, right? Then you wait till Saturday morning. That's when you can see your classmates' response, because I go into the system and make all these responses visible to everyone. Then once you see this response, right, what you're supposed to do is click on this response. Okay, this is my response to this question, blah, 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 blah. I cannot do it because I'm in a student mode. Okay, what you have to do it is once it is made available to you, what you have to do is it's kind of like this.
Okay, so
Even here,
this
right?
is week one.
So what happens is you'll see a reply option here. There'll be a small icon, like a reply icon. You have to click on it, and when you click on it, it's kind of like this, but it's not hidden. You see that?
Okay, so
It's
this
not
is
hidden.
week
So
one discussion.
once you click on it, then you will respond to your classmates' response, though it is called a re-response. And you have instructions in the syllabus as to what is required for the re-response. There is also a rubric that can look at it. But the general idea is that you have to compare your response and the selected peer response and contrast and compare and contrast, and within the context of the question and the content you learn from the unit. Okay, so this is a way to learn from your peers. So the idea is that before you select a response, to view as many responses as possible so you can learn the same information from multiple perspectives, because that is very important for developing a semantic network or semantic knowledge, which you will understand once we get to the long-term memory. Okay, so once you have recorded your initial response and re-response, this submit button here, you see, it becomes active and you can click on it and then you're done. Okay, again, initial response is due by Friday end of the day. Re-response to your classmates' response is available starting Saturday morning, but it's due end of the day Sunday. This is the usual procedure for VT assignment. This actually is a video assignment, VT assignment instructional video, including the navigation. Okay, so there is no need for another video. Okay, so we can come back, click on it, and we were in unit 1. Then we talked about all the assignments. Then you see the quizzes, right? Now, each unit will have a quiz, and usually the number of the quiz will tell us which unit it belongs to, because it's 0, 1, it belongs to unit 0 and 1. 2, it's unit 2, and it tells you when it's due. When you click on it, you can also find other information related to it, right? It is time limit is 60 minutes. You're allowed to do only one attempt. You cannot start and stop and restart later. Once you start, your time starts ticking, so make sure you take it. The way you do it is by clicking on start attempt and continue. It will warn you saying your 60 minutes start now. Okay, I'm quitting it because I'm not a student, I won't lose anything, but you will if you quit this, because you won't be able to, it's actually not letting you. That's interesting. Okay. Um, okay, close draft. Okay, that's good. So that's how you take quizzes, and as I told you, there are 2 quizzes for each week usually, and you can check that here. So this is what you'll typically see in a week. Again, same thing applies to week 2, okay, where the content is not made available to you, but you can look at the assignments when they are due, usually quizzes, but eventually you'll also see the VT assignments here. Same thing with 3 assignments. Again, you cannot take this because it's not available to you, but it will kind of, it's like a reminder for you that you have these quizzes eventually. Same with the other units. This is how these are structured with assignment in it. Okay. Now, when the time comes at the end of each week, you will have access to the other kinds of information specific to each unit, like the content, video lectures, and also the active assignment links like quizzes, and also the VT assignments. Okay, so what else? Okay, so other than this, make sure you read the syllabus. But there's one quick thing I want to kind of remind you, and that there are quizzes, right? And there will be how many? 10 units, right? 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 0 we won't count. So let's say there are 9 units, right? And 9 quizzes. Okay, and I'll drop one lowest graded quiz, so that you have some wiggle room. If you didn't do well, if you mess up a quiz, then there is also some room for you to compensate for that in a different quiz. Okay, again, the best way to do well in this class, especially in quizzes, is to review all the materials: video, lecture, notes, textbook, and practice Kahoots, then take the quiz, and also work on your VT assignments appropriately. Okay, now what else? So your quizzes, then your final exam. The final exam is comprehensive. So in fact, it comes from the same pool of questions that these quizzes come from. So reviewing all the quizzes would help you. How to review the quizzes? Well, if you click on the score you received for the quiz, then it will actually walk you through your questions. You can look at your actual response, the correct response, and I'll give you additional information when we get there. Okay, now what else? Quizzes, final exam, regular weekly VT assignments, then there is the final paper. The final paper is like the pinnacle, because remember, this class is like a puzzle where you will unlock the mysteries of how our mind works within the context of reading a text. So when all these pieces are puzzle are put together, you'll have an answer, right? That is your paper, and the information is final exam. Final paper submission information is right here. And as time comes, I'll add more information here so you can use that. And we'll also include a small video right here that will give you some additional information, and I'll remind you with an email as to where to find this information. Okay, the final exam thing is here. So week 5 is shorter, that's why we have some specific date arrangements, which I'll get back to you guys when we get there. I think it's almost 20 minutes. I would like to cut short this video, so I'll stop here. Again, you can always email me. Make sure you read the syllabus. Syllabus has lots of information about how to reach out to me and whatnot. So my office hours, and these are given as an online class. These office hours are virtual, so you can just use the Zoom link that is given to you. That's in the office hours section. So this is the welcome statement, information about the course, and the way this course is structured is based on a paper that is published last year about teaching using an approach I developed called the cognitive Sherlock approach. So if you're interested, then make sure you read this article, which kind of walks you through the logic of my teaching philosophy specific to this class. Um, or you can click on this one, then there is a PDF version. No, there is no PDF version. Okay, I think I have attached a PDF version elsewhere. I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so these are the things you need to make sure you go over towards the end of the syllabus. It reiterates the information related to quizzes, VT assignments, and Kahoot. So make sure you go over this. Okay, let's look at where that article is. Okay, it should be in the welcome video if it's not here. Right here. Okay, so the welcome video is right here, right? And the paper I was referring to is right here. See that? This is the paper. And if you really want to know the logic, the philosophy behind the way I'm teaching this class, is to read this article. And in fact, one of the handouts that we'll go over in this class, the very first one, is right here from the paper. If you want to know where that is, if you go to Unit 0, you can see that, Unit 0 content. You can actually see that information right here. See that? Okay. Anyway, so that's all we got for now. Again, you can see the content, not the content, but you can see the module specific to these weeks here, but you cannot access the information yet. This is just to tell you how many more units or weeks we got before we move on to the finals. Okay, I'll leave it here. Have a good day. I hope you enjoy it. And from here on, you'll know it once you watch the Unit 0 video that I'm referring to you as Cognitive Sherlocks. So see you, Cognitive Sherlocks.